We should be if we came from there, shouldn't we? It's a lie. You don't come from a monkey. And excuse my bluntness. If there's anybody here that believes that they come from a monkey, you are still a monkey still. We were created, formed. Hallelujah. We don't come from monkeys. Here's another one. If we evolved from monkeys, meaning we still have monkeys today, how is it that the newspapers didn't report yesterday or this morning that some monkey that has been a monkey all their life, suddenly they became a human being today? Why is it not happening? Who told it to stop? It's a lie. We still have monkeys that will remain monkeys, still die monkeys. Because you were not a monkey. Amen. And on and on and on we can go on. The very man who pushed for evolution, Charles Darwin, do you know he was a minister? A disgruntled minister? Yes, people don't know that. He was a preacher. He was studying to become a preacher, and something disgruntled him, and he turned against God. And then he started saying, we evolved from monkeys. But I believe upon his deathbed, he said, burn all my books. They won't tell you at university. They recanted. All right, here we go. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, now he's removing him. He says, and above every beast of the field, here we go, upon thy belly shall thou go. Now we stop right there. If I say, upon thy belly thou shalt go, you have the right to say, how did he go before that? Yeah. Right? I'm a brown man. If one day I walk in here, I'm yellow, like the Chinese man. Or maybe that's too close because I'm a bit yellow. Let's take another color that's out of this world. I'm purple. Then I'll offend nobody, right? So you have a right to say, oh, so God cursed you and now you're purple? Yes. You have a right to say, what color were you before you turned purple? Apply the same principle. If he's going to ride on his belly, you have a right to say, how did he move before that? I challenge you to study pythons and get National Geographic DVDs if you can on pythons. We have one in our church where they prove that the python had shoulders, they had hips, they had bones, and they say for no apparent reason, scientists, for no known reason, their shoulders shrunk and their hip bones shrunk. No reason? We have a reason. I forget which species of python gives birth to live young. The majority lay eggs, but there is one species that gives birth to live young, and we saw the DVD that when that python is pregnant, the formation of the baby is human. Up to a certain time before it gives birth, then it changes. And becomes a... Why is it human all the time? Because in the origin of it, I hope I didn't say anything offensive. But yes, preachers, we are struggling, what I tell you. The way they smile proves to me that there's nothing wrong with it. Yes, they have to go to work. Anyway, so what determines that embryo? What tells the embryo, now you've gone human enough, you change and become a reptile? It's this word. It's the curse. Something else I would love to say, Pastor, but I would need a great deal of wisdom. Most times when pythons kill humans, they kill males, they kill men. Very rarely do you hear a python kills a woman. Very rarely. They'll have to be very hungry to do it, because the prophet says in marriage and divorce, the fact that women, fallen women, dance with him. He says, there's the guy. Even fallen, he still identifies. The only other known time that they say a female python will kill a woman It's when she's going through estrus. We all know what that is. Then she remembers that I'm in this condition because a woman in the beginning took my husband and I'm punished for it. Because remember, every species was male and female. There's a quote, Brother Branham says, this guy had a mate. So when he was cursed, his mate got the punishment too, or else how would he reproduce himself today? So God had to bring down his mate. So they say the only other time a female python will kill a woman, it's when she's going through that time. And a woman passes and then she remembers. Brothers, these things are most wonderful. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat. This one traveled me for a long time. Dust shall thou eat. Pythons eat monkeys, they eat bugs, they eat. What dust is this? It's sin eating on this dust. We are all made of dust. So when sin begins to feed, what is cancer? It's feeding on this dust. What is AIDS? It's feeding on this dust. Amen? It's a metaphor. Next, my brother, and I'll put, now that's the scripture we opened up with, and I'll put enmity. Why? Because before that there was a false love. I'm going to speak to the youth. Don't let the devil lie to you and say, make love. You cannot make love. Brother Ben says, go buy me a pound of love. You can't make it. Love is abstract. So there was something between these two. Now God is changing the scenario. God is saying to the woman, there was something that existed between you and him. Now I'll change it from what it was. I'll put enmity between you and the woman. That's why it's very strange if a woman dances with a snake. It means she's really fallen, because God said, I'll put the fear of him in you. I'll put enmity between, and what? God now prophesies. He's looking at Calvary. He says, and between your seed, serpent seed is still on the earth today, and her seed. This is where we come in. A woman does not have seed. She receives. So God is not talking natural anymore. He's saying the Redeemer will come through a woman. Why? Because the fall comes through Eve. I will reverse it when I bring another woman. Why? Because this man took a virgin that belonged to another man, planted his seed. Way down the road, God will also take a virgin that belongs to another man, but God will not be carnal. Give God the praise. God will speak the word the way Adam ought to have. And the woman will conceive and then give birth without contact. And God proved that what he had planned to do in Eden, had Adam and Eve waited, but they didn't. Now God does it. When Mary comes along, God speaks the word through the angel. Another man speaks the word. Another man in Eden spoke the word, but he went the carnal way. This one speaks the word and continues the spiritual way. Amen. And she conceives. 9 months later, a body is born without sin. God steps into that body and sheds the blood and covenant. Hallelujah! Amen? There it is now. And therefore, watch verse 16. Unto the woman he said, continues. He says, Brother Branham says, the first judgment was on earth. He says, the last judgment will be on earth. That's why there'll be a judgment after 1,000 years. He can't go judge them in heaven. The sin was committed here. I love this, the way the prophet put it together by the grace of God. He says the first judgment was on earth. In Eden, he says the last judgment will be on earth after our Eden. This Eden was defiled, our millennium will not be defiled. Because God was reversing. There it is. I will greatly multiply thy sorrow. Now, why? Why sorrow? It's the opposite of some false pleasure. We're not going to open the curtains any deeper, any further. And thy conception, Brother Branham says, nature, once in 6 months. That's how it was supposed to be. But now God says, because you went ahead of me every 28 days, I will greatly multiply thy conception. And in sorrow thou shalt bring forth apples. Now the picture is clear. It's got to do with children. Brother Branham says originally, had Eve waited on the Lord, there was not supposed to be pain with childbirth. Now there is pain. Well, of course, we can go and say how Satan through science is trying to say, yeah, I can still induce. You can have a painless birth. Well, remember, he is a tree that's opposing God all the way. But any normal birth, there's pain. Now what? And thy desire shall be to whom? She knows why God says that, because she desired another man. He says, now you desire your husband, and for the first time, God says, he shall rule over you. But Ben says they were co-equal before him. Now that's where it's the hardest on sisters. God is simply testing, sister, whether you're going to be like Eve and run ahead of your husband. Obedience, when it's by revelation, is no effort to any sister. It's a pleasure, because now you have revelation that God is not enslaving me to my husband. He's merely testing whether I'll be. And brother, by the same token, now you are not going to abuse this and turn into a slave. Well, it reminds me of a case I was dealing with. Well, the sister was a bit out of order, the type that we call Thyatira type of a woman, very strong. And good fine characters of those. And I'm not going to call birth scars because I don't want to offend, but we have studied birth scars. There are certain birth scars. If a sister is born under that star and the brother is born under another, you need the Holy Ghost. Birth scars. That's why the prophet says, even though you are born again, COD Volume 2, he says the star under which you were born still exerts some influence. So he came to try and solve the problem, and they were bickering back and forth, and eventually we came to the source of the argument. The brother felt like the sister is not obedient enough. She doesn't give him time to exercise his headship in the house, and she started crying. And she said, Pastor, it's not that I want to rule over him. I just want him to do what I say. I'm sorry you were laughing. I'm relating. I said, sister, so what's the difference? We are back to square one. Amen. But brothers, it also does not mean that your wife cannot speak at all. Because God is a God of balance. Amen? When Sarah said to Abram, take Hagar, well, which brother will say yes? That's a root cause of polygamy. Yes! My wife agrees. Later on, when there's an Ishmael, Ishmael is 17, Isaac is 3, and they're throwing a party for Isaac to be weaned from the breast. He's 3, the other one is 17, there's a 14-year gap. Well, the way that Ishmael played with the little boy during the party, I'm quoting the manuscripts now, don't ask me for a quote. The manuscripts say, the way he played, he held Isaac in a kind of a stranglehold. And the mother, Sarah, is watching this, and the way he was doing it, he was almost like signifying, when I get a chance, I'll kill you. So that's when the mother said, let the woman and the son go. Watch Abram. Oh, he's the son of my loins. How can we, Sarah, how, you were the first one to come up with the idea. And God comes and backs up Sarah. And says, you listen to her this time. You shouldn't have the first time. This time you listen to her, let the bondwoman and her son go. You see, so God will for a sister where it's necessary. How about Abigail? The husband says, who's David? I'm not going to pay tithes to David, give offerings to him. Because you see, Nabal was of the same tribe as Saul. He was a Benjamin. So sometimes people make decisions based on tribalism. We are teaching the word. Even among white people, I've traveled the world. The Germans don't like the Austrians, but they are of the same skin. And the Austrians don't like the Polish, and they are of the same skin. So it's on both sides. Racism is everywhere. The only thing that can conquer it is the baptism of the Holy Ghost in the soul. So, God help us. I know I've left my point, but the Holy Spirit says move on. I've been too long around here. So let's go back to the point there, brother. And God said, He shall rule over thee. So, rulership of a man over a woman in the Holy Ghost is a pleasure to behold. Because then the woman knows I'm not a slave, and the man knows I'm not the boss. We are both obeying the word of God. Amen? But the age we live in, governments of the world are passing constitutions and laws, and it's Satan trying to say, sister, your hour to be co-equal is here, whereas the co-equality will happen after the rapture. God isn't going to keep you subservient all the time. But Satan is again pushing Eve, like he pushed in Eden for her to do things ahead of time. The same devil is pushing the woman in the last days, maybe not you, sister. I'm saying the woman in the last days to say, well, you have your own career. You earn more money than he does. Have you seen when a woman earns more than the husband? She had better be born again. Or else he's going to hear someday, who puts the bacon on this table? The car you drive, who pours the gas in there? The shoes you wear. You see what I'm saying? The water you're showering with, who's paying for it? You have to be born again, sister. You say, my husband, God bless you. If God bless me with a better job, it's for both of us. Amen? Amen. It's for the benefit of both of us. God bless you. Let's see if we can move on a little, my brother. I'm going to close in a while. And on to Adam, he said. You see, when God began to interrogate, he started here. Adam, Eve, because thou hast done this. When he punishes, he starts with the culprit. You will rise in your belly, woman, I will multiply your conception. Now the last, but I love that. He starts, it goes that way, from that way it comes back and unto Adam, he said, because I was eaten. No. Eating was his to eat at the later stage. He says, because you have listened to the voice of your wife. Oh, I love this. And today, God has not changed his mind. The denomination has a mother of them all. To listen to that voice, you are in the very same problem. You will end up in the very same trouble as Adam did. That's why God said, but in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he begins, not when she, Revelation 17. Because you listen to the voice of your wife, God now calls her your wife. That's deep. I want you to see what God calls her. He says, your wife. And with this, I'll begin to tone down, wind up. The prophet says in the power to transform and God's power of transformation is one and the same message, preached at different places. He says, Eve, before the event, was not yet Adam's wife. She was Adam's bride. He says, but the act made her. Now I know message people who do not balance quotes. Now I deal with this in the church too. They run to COD, the vow. Yes, I know. I read the same makes it beautiful. I know. But that's not all he said. Over here says the act. Because we've had many cases where brothers made false vows to sisters. The brother promises aeroplane, promises helicopter, ship, Her Royal Majesty service, you know that line, I promise. And then sister says yes, and then tomorrow he's with another one. Now you turn around and say, she's bound. Who bound it? That guy made a false promise. He's running with somebody else. She's not bound. He made a false vow. That vow can be disannulled by her father. Please, my brother, give me Numbers 30.
Amen.
You have to balance. There are vows that are binding, there are vows that are not. Watch Numbers 30. Give me verse 1. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, this is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Watch next verse. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, so this is a vow to the Lord. Watch the categories. Watch verse 2. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word, he shall do according to all that proceeds out of the mouth. That's a vow to the Lord. Next verse. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself with the bond, being where? In her father's house in her youth. Now the scenario changes. She's not independent, she's not on her own. She's under your rulership, brother. It's your daughter. She makes a vow. What's the power that the father has? Next verse. And her father, hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her. Then all her vows shall stand. It means the father is the final authority of her vow. Hello? Amen. The father is the final authority over her vow. Watch the next verse. And her father hear her vow, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her. Then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. What's the next verse? But, that word but, and God says, now we are changing the picture of it. But if her father disallow her in the day that he hears it, he may hear it 3 months later, 6 months later. What? My daughter vowed herself to this brother. He vowed himself to her. I don't care what vow they made. The father has the power to disannul. So there are vows that are binding, and there are vows that can be cancelled. We are looking at it. That's the scripture Brother Benham used when Billy Paul had bound himself to that young girl. He and the father, there's a scripture, of the girl. Because the Bible says, see, and the Lord shall forgive her. Because what? If the Lord's going to forgive her, she's free from the law. The Lord is forgiven. Because the Father cancelled. But you still find people who cannot balance it. Poor sisters. They are bound from age 15. The pastor says you're bound. The father says you're bound. They don't balance it. And maybe the father said something else. But the people of the church just no, she made it out. No, leave it to the father and the pastor to find out. Amen. So when Brother Benham and the father of the young girl dissolved it, she was free and she remarried. But Billy Paul was in trouble. The scripture says it frees the girl. It doesn't say it frees the man. It's so perfect. Billy Paul was bound, but she's free and she remarried. So the point I'm making is, the vow will bind until the father says, what? Never heard you vow. Why did you bypass me or the pastor? So they have the final authority over it. Now, let's go back to that Genesis I'm going to. Because I was hearkened unto the voice, and hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, that thou shalt not eat. Cursed is you. No, cursed is the ground thy sake. God didn't touch Adam anywhere in the body. He cursed the ground where the serpent is now writhing. I'm going to be in trouble now. And when the Pope lends, he kisses the ground.
That's right.
He blesses the ground. See? That should be an eye-opener who he is,
Amen.
where he comes from. But anyway, thou shalt not eat. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Now man was not made to work, really. So if you have a husband that suffers from lazyitis, lazy was, at least he can quote the scripture that I know before the fall. But now after the fall, a man must work. He speaks about the sweat of his brow, praise God. So if you go gambling with horses, the poor horse has to sweat and you get the money. Is that scripture? Living by the sweat of a horse? The Bible says the sweat of your brow. I might get into trouble, my pastor will back me up. That's why we don't play lotto. Because it starts with lot. Amen? We trust God for our supplies. We don't go put money somewhere and say the Lord will bless me. No, the Lord said work for it. And I'll bless you. Are we agreed? Amen. The Lord bless you. Let's move on with that Genesis. Thorns also and thistles. Now suddenly the earth that was carpeted with tender grass, Adam didn't need shoes, now he's going to need shoes because death is now striking the plant world. Leaves are going to dry and curl up, branches are going to dry and curl up, produce thorns, which is why when Christ had to redeem us, what was his crown made of? Thorns and thistles. Why did Christ sweat blood and water in the garden? Because the fall happened in a garden. Why must he wear a crown of thorns? Because the garden produced thorns and thistles. Now he's redeeming the curse that he pronounced. He's taking it upon himself, he's redeeming mankind, he's redeeming the earth, the animal kingdom. Amen. Amen. That's why he came riding on a donkey. Do you know why? One reason of many reasons. They say it's amazing how the back of a donkey, every donkey, there's a cross. Amen. And the donkey has the same amount of chromosomes, being an animal, has the same amount of chromosomes as the human being. And he came riding on the back of a donkey. Not only to symbolize humility, but redemption. Thorns and thistles shall it bring forth, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. So originally man was a vegetarian. After the fall, he says, now you may eat meat, right? The plant world is dying, and the atomic bomb that was exploded to cause the flood, says the prophet in Perseverance, now the fallout is poisoning the plant world. Now, to supplement, he says, now you may kill and eat. But when we go back to the new world, we are going back to the original. Amen. Isn't that wonderful? That's why Paul in his wisdom, he says, let him who eats meat not condemn the one who eats vegetables. And likewise, if you're a vegetarian, don't condemn. You see, because God is permitting it until we are fully redeemed. Amen. Let's see if there's another verse. Is this, in the sweat of thy face, not the horse's one, shall thou eat bread till thou return unto the ground, is talking to the outer man. For out was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. We understand that refers to this outer man. The theophany is not made up of dust. But when the theophany comes to claim this one, it will become another body called glorified. Amen? And in the glorified, we'll be able to eat at the wedding